Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are not on F1 22. We are back with some iRacing action, and today, since we have been promoted out of the rookies into the D-Class, many of you have advised me to try the Formula 4 cars, and this week, because the tracks change on a week-to-week basis, this is actually at Suzuka, the full circuit, and I'm going to be showing you my first race that I've ever done. So I did a bit of practice beforehand, so I wasn't going into this completely blind, because it's important to be at your best, because you want to improve your safety rating, but also the I rating as well. So the I rating is based on your kind of win ratio, how well you're actually doing in the races, and the safety rating is where you're not getting any off tracks, not getting any collisions, and it's important to get them both as high as you can. So we did a bit of practice before this, but this is my very first race, and if you don't know how the structure works, normally you get like a 2-minute practice in the official race when you sign up to it, and then you get 2 full qualifying laps. So this is my first qualifying lap to see where I will start on the grid, and then I get another lap after this. And you can see with the telemetry, a lot of this, or pretty much all of this, is from the race apps, or yeah, I believe it's called race apps or race labs, whichever one it's called. It's down in the description, and you can see it's got my throttle input, my braking, also the standings on the top left and the bottom right as well. Because with the normal iRacing, it doesn't really give you that much information, so this is extremely helpful. So if you'd like to use these, then I think it really will transfer or transform your experience. So make sure you check out the link down below. But coming into this, definitely needed to get used to this car, but it just felt incredible straight away. Just how you're connected to this game. It's very, very addicting. And like I said many times, and quite a bit recently, even if the F1 games aren't realistic, just feeling like you can save the car and you're not relying on what you see, but actually more about what you feel through the wheel. I don't really care what the handling's like, and that's what I love about this game and other games such as Assetto Corsa, Automobilista. You can actually feel the car, you actually feel you're connected to it, and you can kind of feel when the car's actually going to snap away from you, which just gives you a whole new level of immersion. But since this is actually a full sim, it goes even one step further. And this up here, the Delta is comparing to my best lap that I've ever done in the practice. You can see we've gone a bit deep into this final chicane, so a bit of a scruffy lap. But as you come across the line, you will see on the top left hand side that we are currently the fastest man on track right now. But as we move into our second lap, you can see we're about 6 tenths down from our best I've ever done, so not particularly great. Going through the spoon section, I was really struggling with the car for here. It's just snapping away from me. When you're going off the throttle, it just wants to over-rotate all the time. And yeah, I was having a bit of a hard time with that. So in the end, we actually came home in P3 about a tenth away from the fastest lap. So I was quite happy with that. Quite confident going to this race. So as we've got 4 lights here, it's a 20-minute race. And as it looks like the car in red has actually made a jump start. So he's probably going to have to come into the pits. Got a car to my right-hand side as well. I know I'll probably be needing to change this field of view to get it a bit more in line with how far away I'm sitting from the screen and also the screen side. I had input the right figures, but I don't think this is quite correct right now. But yeah, we're currently in P3. The guy in the lead, I'm sure, has actually made a bit of a jump start, which is why the other guy kind of stalled it on the start himself. So we're at P3 out of 20, and you can see at the bottom right hand side that a lot of people around us are much more experienced. So what iRacing does is it tries to put you people on a similar I rating to you, even if they're in different licenses as well. And basically, the higher the license you go, the more access to the game you get. You will have to pay for cars and certain tracks as you go along, which a lot of people do complain about, but it rewards you for being cleaner and just racing properly, which is something I actually really enjoy about iRacing itself. But yeah, this is my first ever Formula 4 race here, and you can see it in these early laps. We were being quite cautious, especially through this section, the smooth section. I was very tentative on the throttle. Just didn't want to lose the car at all, because if you lose the car, even if you lose the car, you don't even go off track, you actually get incident points which affect your iRating. So I'm just doing the best I can right now to just try and have a clean race, no contact, no corner cuts, no losing the car or anything at all. Obviously I want to try and do the best I can, but I'm looking to have a clean race as I get a bit more experience into the game. And you can see the guy in the lead has pitted, which does confirm he had a drive-through, or he's going to have to serve a penalty for kind of jumping the start. So you can see the gap up ahead is about 1.2 seconds. As you skip to next lap, looks like he's actually pulling away a little bit. So at this point in time, I was still being quite conservative, just getting myself into the rhythm of the race a little bit more. But it was really from this stage that I started to up the aggression a little bit. So taking a bit more risks and seeing how far we could push this car. So just getting a little bit more comfortable as we go along. You can see the guy up ahead of me. I think he's on a B-class license or something like that. So definitely has quite a bit more experience than me in this game. But I'm hoping that through my years of playing the F1 games in the open cars and also driving, I've actually driven a Formula 4 car in real life before many years ago, that will transfer over quite nicely into this game, since it is a sim. And you can see here now making a bit of inroads into the leader, because I really wanted to try and win my first race in Formula 4. And I have to say, although we're concentrating quite a bit here, it just felt so nice to drive. You just feel so connected, just the force feedback and just the immersion. I really am loving this game so much. And please, again, let me know what you want to see more when I play this game. Any advice, because there's been a lot of advice you guys have given me, such as with the tear off, the button layout and everything such as that. That's all really helped me quite a lot. So if there's any more advice, criticism as well with the driving or anything else, I'm all ears, because it really has helped me enjoy this game much more as well. So we have a little slap over here, so go for spin, almost losing it again for the second time, and that has allowed one car to go past. You can see in the wing mirror another car is coming past, so now we've gone from second down to P4, and yeah, really struggling in that section of the track. But coming through 130R, cars had to be having a bit of a lift, so I was really eager to get this position back. Going into chicane, out braking him really nicely. Going into here, so a really nice element of trail braking, as you can see by the telemetry there. And we're actually going to get a really good run coming off here as well. So if we can maybe get both positions back, but the slipstream is not quite as powerful in this car as it is in the Formula V cars, which we did in my last video. So the slipstream does differ depending on what cars you're in, but he looks like he's gone out wide, going for the exit of first turn 1. What are we going to do here? We're going to go around the outside, going for it to here, and who blinks first? Wing! That's such a good move around the outside, going into here. So you can see we got a little bit of a contact warning, but that doesn't affect your safety rating at all, because as I said in my last video, if you have a little touch on the front bumper or something like that, they count that as bump drafting. And luckily that hasn't done anything. Luckily he backed out of it, and that's what I really like, because people don't want their safety rating to go down, because that really does affect their online experience as well. So yeah, that was really nice. So we went down to P4, back up to P2, because I felt like I was a faster car. Especially I felt like I could win this race if I could just sort out my driving a little bit and get a little bit more confident. Then I felt like the win was there for the taking, and you can see on the bottom right as well, it tells you how much your iRating is improving, and we will be looking at the end of the race as well, because I really want to get up to a 2k iRating as quick as I can. And yeah, it's addicting. You're about to see here, I think we do the tear off visor, which someone did to me. Maybe not this lap, maybe the next lap. I have actually got a button assigned to that now, because you can see this is a sim. Yeah, we're getting some dust in our visor and stuff, and it's yeah, I didn't even know about that until someone told me. So I think this next lap that we'll be getting rid of that. But you can see we're getting into the toe of the leader, and I think it's again different for each car, but if you're within almost a second, you actually get a very nice slipstream effect, and I think we are very much in that zone. As you can see by the delta, we're gaining time on the straight, so we've got back in the toe. That's exactly what we need. I think coming off the speed, you'll see I pressed the button to do the visor tear off, which again, I thank you so much for letting me know that, because I had absolutely no idea. So on the exit of spoon here, I believe we'll go do it here now. Let's get a bit of an off track at the same time. And do we do it going through here? I guess the answer is no yet, so maybe it's actually the next lap, but we've got a little bit of an off track here, so that's our first incident warning, which is something we didn't want. But you can see with the delta again, the slipstream, we are gaining quite a bit, and I definitely felt the win was for the taking here. So trying to get a really good exit coming off this chicane. This is where I felt I was particularly strong on this track. It's definitely through the spoon section that's my weakest, but through this first sector and the last sector, I felt like that was where I was at my strongest. So now we're putting quite a bit more pressure on the car up ahead. I'm surprised I haven't done my visor tear off yet, because it is getting a little bit dusty on my screen here. So going through the sector, we're just going to try and put as much pressure as we can. And again, please let me know if you want me to start streaming all these races. Just post down below if you'd like me to start streaming on Twitch. If you do, make sure you follow me on limitless_F1 on my Twitch, because over the Christmas period, I think I will start streaming not just iRacing, but my open lobbies in F1 and pretty much just everything I do as well. So yeah, if you'd like to follow me for these races, well, I'll be doing them for multiple hours per day, then that's going to be the place to go. But you can see here now, gaining quite a bit of time on here. Not too much pressure from the car behind, so the car behind's over a second, so he's not really going to get that much of a toe on me. So getting a really good exit coming off this hairpin now, trying to get into the slipstream. And yeah, this is the point where we're going to be getting quite a bit in a straight line as well. So coming through into the spoon section, let's see how we do it this time. So you can really, it's quite easy to spin on that curb there, so really careful of that curb around side. Trying to get a good exit. You can see on the delta, we're getting quite a bit of time here. And on the exit out, you can see now we have done the visor tear off, so that's much better. We can see much more now coming into this. But this is definitely the closest we've been so far in the slipstream. As you can see, that delta is going up really quickly. Does he go defensive into this last chicane? No, he doesn't, so we're not going to be close enough. But being quite a bit later on the brakes, so now he does go defensive. Compromises himself for the exit going onto the start finish line. You can see we get a really good run coming off here. So now we're going to tuck up right underneath his gearbox. Let's see what we can do. So he's going a little bit defensive, a little bit of weaving in a straight line. So does he stay defensive? Yes, he does. But we're going to go around the outside. And who blinks first? Coming into this turn. Well, he blinks first and we go around the outside. So another very nice move around the outside. And now we are in the lead of this race. But in slower cars, with the slipstream being so effective, it's quite difficult to shake people off. So I'm going to try and put as much of a gap as I can between myself and this guy behind, because if I could break the slipstream, then I really do feel I had a lot more pace than him. And no, these cars are just so nice to drive. It's one of the most fun races I've done in sim racing so far. It just felt really satisfying, and these F4 cars are absolutely incredible. But you can see coming off speed again, definitely our weakest section of the circuit, and you can see he's right up in the slipstream. So is he going to go for a move into 130? Oh, yes, he is. So we have to be careful with the safety rating, so we actually decided to just let him through here, playing it nice and safe. We've got a little bit of a gap to the cars behind as well, so I don't want to fight too much, otherwise it's going to let them come back in, because it still looks like it's almost a 3-horse race for this win here. So any one of these 3 cars can still do it, and we're going to get the slipstream once again, but are we going to be close enough this time to make a move into turn 1? So I think the answer is no, because he's gone back on this racing line here, and we actually have a back marker coming up as well. As you can see on the bottom right hand side, it tells you where everyone is, and I've also got the track map on the top right, which is also from the race apps telemetry, which is very, very useful to have as well, especially when you're doing a practice session, so you don't get the help. But it looks like it's made a bit of a mistake here, and now we've been gifted the first place once again, and yeah, just gonna try and break out of this slipstream, because I felt like our raw pace was a little bit faster than the guys around us. But it's coming into this section of the track. This is where we are definitely the weakest, going through the second sector and the spoon section. That's why I really need to make the most of it. So you can see again coming off a spoon. Let's see what we do here. So it looks like he's quite close once again. So see, he gets a really good exit coming off here. It's definitely his best corner. Is he going to make another move going to 130 after? This time he's a lot further behind. Coming into here, he goes for the overtake, but he wasn't even alongside. His front wheel was on my rear, so I didn't really expect him to do that. But then we outbrake him going to the chicane, so I really want to stay ahead of him as much as I possibly can, trying to get a really good exit coming onto the start-finish straight as well. And that's going to be a few instant points. So luckily we both came off fairly unscathed there without any damage, but maybe I should have left a little bit more room myself, but I didn't expect him. I thought he was probably going to concede that corner and then maybe go for it on the straight, but yeah, we made a little bit of contact. As you can see, going for him, the guy in third place and him have a huge collision, so I don't know what on earth has gone on there, but that has pretty much gifted me the win, and all I have to do now is just stay on track. And you can see the gap behind is a fairly decent gap behind me now. And you can see we've got this back marker coming up ahead, so you can see the white flag. That means next lap is the last lap of the race itself. Getting in the slipstream here. Does he let me go? Yes, he does. So we give him the good old thumbs up, saying thank you. You can actually talk over the radio, which I need to assign a button to, because I definitely would have said thank you there. So GG to him. And this is the final lap of the race, and it was actually in fact my fastest lap of the race. So we're going to finish off with my fastest lap here, and yeah, what a race. I just love the format of iRacing and just the feel of these cars. Is there probably even more realistic cars? Probably is in Assassin Corsa or R Factor, but this compared to F1 right now, I'm just absolutely loving this game, and I really want to push myself to see how far I can go and how competitive and how much better I can actually get as well with my I rating, the safety rating, and obviously the immersion factor is second to none. It just feels absolutely insane to drive these cars on this game. I haven't been this happy in a long time. I think you could tell by my commentary here. I just really, really enjoy it. I really, really do. And I know a lot of people on my channel have watched me for the F1 videos, but hopefully you're enjoying me playing this as well. Because like I said, I think it's always good to watch someone who's actually enjoying what they do as well. But no, in recent days I have enjoyed myself a bit more in F1, and I think having that break from F1 makes it a lot more refreshing when I do go back on it as well, because I definitely still will be playing it in the open lobbies, career mode, and potentially league racing again next season, but I'll definitely be spending a lot more time on games such as this as well. So coming through into the final chicane, we're going to take the win in our first F4 race, and against a field that's actually quite experienced as well. So I was really, really happy with this performance. It just feels so satisfying to drive. It really, really does. And you'll be able to see the results here at the end. Taking the win over 4 seconds from the guy in P2, and you will be able to see my results here as well. how much we gained in the iRating. So we gained 88 and 0.16 in the safety rating. We had a few incidents there, but overall, I really, really hope you enjoyed my first F4 race. Hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and I will be catching you very, very soon. Peace.